Hello everyone. Listen to me carefully. There is nothing more painful in this world than having something to say, but being too afraid to say it. Maybe you know that feeling. Your mouth is ready. Your thoughts are ready. Your heart is ready. But when the moment comes, your voice freezes. Your confidence collapses. Your fear takes over. If that's you, then this story will stay with you forever. Because this is the story of a woman who spent half her life silent, invisible, terrified of her own voice, until the day she discovered that the thing she was most afraid of was the very thing that would save her life. Her name was Maya Reyes. And this is how she learned to speak. Medium White Star Chapter 1, The Girl Who Never Raised Her Hand. Maya was the type of person everyone liked, but no one really noticed. Quiet, kind, soft-spoken, always helpful, always smiling. But underneath that smile was a storm nobody saw. Because Maya lived with a fear no one ever talked about. The fear of speaking. Not snakes. Not darkness. Not heights. Not exams. But speaking. Talking. Opening her mouth. And letting the world hear her. She feared judgment. She feared mistakes. She feared humiliation. She feared the shaking voice. The dry throat. The trembling hands. You know that fear, don't you? The fear where your heart races just because somebody looks at you like they're expecting you to say something. The fear where your mind screams, but your voice whispers. That was Maya's life. At school, she never raised her hand. At family gatherings, she nodded more than she spoke. When teachers asked questions, she prayed to become invisible. But life doesn't hide you forever. It always finds a way to push you toward the thing you're afraid of. And one day, life pushed her hard. Medium White Star Chapter 2, The Presentation That Broke Her. Maya was 16 when she experienced the moment that would haunt her for years. Her English teacher, Mrs. Atkins, announced that everyone would present a 2-minute speech in front of the entire class. Maya felt her stomach drop. A speech? In front of everyone? With all eyes on her? She wanted to disappear. And the worst part? Her name was called first. She walked to the front of the classroom with legs that felt like they didn't belong to her. She held her paper. Her hands shook. Her breath became thin. Her mouth became dry. She opened her lips. And nothing came out. Not a word. Not a sound. Just empty silence. The class stared. Whispered. Shifted in their seats. Her vision blurred. Her heart slammed. Her face burned. Finally, after 10 seconds, which felt like 10 hours, she forced out a sound. But her voice cracked. Then broke. Then trembled. Someone laughed. Not loudly. Just enough. That was enough to crush her. She ran out of the classroom before the tears reached her jaw. And that moment, that single moment, became the prison she carried inside her chest for the next decade. A moment that told her, your voice is weak. You're embarrassing. You're not meant to speak. Stay quiet. It's safer. But what she didn't know was that this moment that broke her would one day become the moment that rebuilt her. Medium White Star Chapter 3, The Woman Who Avoided Herself. Years passed. Maya grew older, but her silence grew with her. In college, she avoided classes that required presentations. During group projects, she always took the role of the quiet planner. At work, she never volunteered to speak. She stayed comfortable in small conversations, quick nods, polite smiles. She wasn't shy. People misunderstood that part. She wasn't afraid of people. She was afraid of being heard. There's a difference. Fear of speaking is not fear of others. It's fear of yourself. Fear of your voice. Fear of expressing your truth. And every year, the fear grew heavier until it became routine, normal, automatic. That is how fear works. Fear is not a monster chasing you. Fear is a comfortable chair you sit in for so long that you forget you can stand up. Maya forgot. She forgot she had a voice. She forgot she had ideas. She forgot she had dreams that needed sound. Until one day, life gave her no choice. Medium White Star Chapter 4, The Interview That Should Have Been Hers. Maya worked at a small marketing company. She was brilliant at writing, designing, research, strategy. But speaking? That was her weakness. Her curse. Her team was preparing for a major client pitch. The kind of project that could change someone's entire career. Her manager, Daniel, looked at the team and said, "Who wants to present the main pitch?" Maya felt something inside her say it. Speak. Volunteer. You can do this. But before the courage reached her mouth, fear strangled it. "I'll do it," said Brian, a confident co-worker who loved taking the spotlight. And that was it. The opportunity slipped away in 3 seconds of silence. Later that night, Maya sat alone in her apartment, thinking, that should have been mine. I worked the hardest. I had the ideas. But I let fear steal from me. Again. And that's when it hit her. Fear doesn't just silence you. Fear steals your life. Steals your chances. Steals your relationships. Steals your confidence. Steals your future. And Maya had lost enough. She didn't want to live inside her own silence anymore. But breaking free from fear is not a decision. It's a journey. And her journey began with a stranger. Medium White Star Chapter 5, The Stranger in the Park. A week later, Maya went for a long walk in the city park, trying to clear her mind. As she walked past the benches, she saw an older man, talking confidently to a small group, sharing stories, laughing loudly, expressing himself freely. His voice echoed with warmth, strength, life. People listened to him without judgment. They enjoyed his presence. And Maya felt something inside her ache. I wish I spoke like that. As the group dispersed, the old man noticed her watching and smiled. You look like someone with a story stuck in your throat, he said. Maya froze. How did you? I was a speech teacher for 40 years. I can sense silence. He tapped his heart. Especially painful silence. Maya didn't know why, but she sat beside him. Maybe it was fate. Maybe it was coincidence. Maybe it was time. The man introduced himself. Call me Mr. Orion. Maya nodded nervously. He studied her face for a long moment before saying something that pierced right through her chest. Your voice isn't weak. Your fear is loud. She swallowed hard. He continued. And I can teach you how to silence your fear and free your voice. Maya stared at him. Why would you help me? He smiled. Because once upon a time, my voice was broken too. She felt her breath catch. This stranger understood her without her saying a word. Let me ask you something, Mr. Orion said. When did you stop trusting your voice? Maya felt a memory she'd buried for years, slowly rising. The classroom, she whispered. The presentation. The laughter. He nodded. And ever since that day, you've been trying to avoid your own voice. Tears filled her eyes. Can I fix it? She asked softly. Mr. Orion placed a gentle hand over his chest. You can do more than fix it. You can reclaim it. You can command it. You can transform it. He leaned closer. But only if you're ready to face the fear you've been running from. Maya wiped her eyes. I'm ready, she whispered. And for the first time in her life, she actually meant it. Medium White Star Chapter 6, The First Lesson, Feel Your Fear. Mr. Orion stood up slowly. Let's start right here, he said. In the middle of the park. Maya panicked. Wait, now? But people are watching. He raised a finger. And that's your problem. You think people are watching. But the truth is. He spread his arms toward the busy park. No one is thinking about you. No one is judging you. Everyone is thinking about their own life. He stepped closer. Your fear is a liar. Maya trembled. She looked around. People were walking, talking, laughing, scrolling. No one cared. Mr. Orion continued. The first lesson is simple. Fear lives only in your imagination. Your body reacts to a threat that does not exist. He pointed to her chest. That shaking? That trembling? That tightness? It's not weakness. It's unresolved memory. Maya exhaled shakily. Now, he said. Repeat after me. Quietly, just loud enough to hear yourself. She nodded. He said. This is my fear. But it is not my master. Maya whispered. This is my fear. But it is not my master. Her voice cracked. That's okay, he said warmly. A cracked voice is still a voice. She repeated it again and again, her voice steadier each time. People walked by. Nobody stared. Nobody judged. Her mind lied. Reality didn't. Mr. Orion smiled. Today is the day. You stop running from your voice and start walking toward it. For the first time in years, Maya felt something she thought she'd lost forever. Hope. Medium White Star Chapter 7, the second lesson, your voice lives in your body. The next morning, Maya returned to the park. She didn't know why she felt nervous, but for the first time, the fear wasn't stopping her. Mr. Orion was already there, sitting on the same bench, feeding birds like he had been waiting for her. You came, he said, smiling. Maya nodded. I said I was ready. Mr. Orion stood up slowly. Today, he said, you're going to meet your real voice. Maya frowned. My real voice? I already know my voice. No, he said gently. You know your scared voice. The voice that apologizes for existing. The voice that hides. The voice that trembles because it was never allowed to be strong. He pointed to her chest. Your real voice lives here. Then he pointed to her stomach. And here. Maya blinked. I don't understand. Mr. Orion placed a hand over his diaphragm. Your fear lives in your head. But your voice lives in your body. He inhaled deeply, and his voice boomed across the park. Try this. Maya jumped. How could such a powerful voice come from such an old man? Your voice comes from the breath behind your words, he explained. Most people with fear of speaking, they speak from the throat. A scared, weak, tight voice. He placed his hands on his stomach. But a fearless voice comes from here. Maya touched her stomach gently. Let's begin, he said. Medium White Star Chapter 8, the breath of confidence. Mr. Orion stood facing her. Put your hand on your belly, he instructed. She did. Now breathe in slowly, as if you're filling a balloon. She inhaled. Her hand rose slightly. Good, he said. But not here. He placed a hand over her chest. Here is fear breathing. He guided her hand lower. Down here. That's confidence breathing. She tried again. Her stomach expanded. Now speak while keeping your belly full, he said. Speak, what? He smiled. Just say your name. Maya hesitated. Her name felt too small to hold all her fear. But she tried. My name is Maya. Her voice cracked. That's your throat speaking, he said gently. Try again. But this time, breathe first. She inhaled deeply, belly expanding. Now speak. My name is Maya. This time, the sound was fuller, warmer, stronger. Her eyes widened. That's your real voice, he said softly. Maya covered her mouth, shocked. That can't be me. Mr. Orion laughed. It is you. It's always been you. You just never learned how to release it. He stepped back. Let's do it again. They practiced for 20 minutes. My name is Maya. My name is Maya. My name is Maya. Each time, her voice grew steadier. Do you feel that? He asked. Maya nodded, amazed. It feels real, she whispered. It feels like you, he said. And for the first time, she believed him. Medium White Star Chapter 9, the third lesson, fear is a muscle. After the breathing drills, Mr. Orion led her to a quiet corner of the park, near a fountain. Maya, he said, tell me something. She looked at him. Why do you think fear controls you? She thought for a moment. Because, it's stronger than me. No. He shook his head. Fear is not stronger than you. Fear is just a muscle you've been training your entire life. Maya blinked. What? Every time you stayed silent. Every time you avoided speaking. Every time you hid your voice. You strengthened the fear. He flexed his arm dramatically. You've built this fear like a bodybuilder. You fed it. You trained it. You gave it power. Maya's heart sank. That was painfully true. But here's the good news, he continued. You can train courage the same way. He pointed to her chest. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is a stronger muscle. He tapped her arm. And today, we're going to train it. Maya straightened her back. How? Mr. Orion smiled mischievously. You're going to speak. To a stranger. Maya froze. No, No. Absolutely not. You said you were ready, he interrupted. I didn't mean this. He laughed softly. I know. But this is the moment that separates the dreamers from the speakers. He stepped closer. You will never remove your fear by hiding from it. You remove fear by walking straight into it. Maya's throat tightened, but something inside her whispered, do it. For once in your life, do it. She exhaled shakily. Okay, she whispered. I'll try. Medium White Star Chapter 10, The First Stranger. Mr. Orion scanned the park. See that woman sitting with the coffee? He asked. Maya followed his gaze. A young woman sat on a bench, scrolling her phone. Go to her, he said, and ask her what time it is. Maya's heart exploded in her chest. That's too much. It's one sentence, he said. Not a speech. Not a stage. Not a crowd. He smiled gently. Ask her the time. That's it. Maya felt the fear rising in her throat. The same fear that had suffocated her for years. Her hands trembled. Her knees felt weak. I can't, she whispered. You can, he said firmly. No, Maya. His voice softened. You've lived your whole life believing a lie. She looked up, trembling. You think speaking is dangerous. But the danger is in staying silent. His words hit her like truth she'd avoided for years. Go, he said softly. I am right here. You're not alone. She swallowed hard. Then, slowly, one small step at a time, Maya walked toward the woman. Her voice was shaking. Before she even spoke. Excuse me. The woman looked up. Yes? Maya froze. Her throat locked. Her heartbeat thundered. Her breath collapsed. But she remembered the lesson. Breathe from the belly. She inhaled deeply. Then she tried again. Could you tell me the time, please? The woman smiled politely. Oh, it's 4:17. Maya nodded quickly. Thank you. She turned and nearly ran back to Mr. Orion. Her cheeks were red. Her hands were shaking. Her mind was racing. But her heart felt free. I did it, she gasped. Mr. Orion grinned. Yes, he said. And the world didn't collapse, did it? She shook her head, laughing breathlessly. No, it didn't. That, he said proudly, was your first victory. Medium White Star Chapter 11, The Strangest Thing Happened. As Maya caught her breath, she realized something strange. The fear was fading. Not disappearing. Not gone. But shrinking. I thought I'd faint, she said. But instead, it felt. Mr. Orion finished for her. Liberating. Maya nodded. Exactly. That's because you challenged the monster in your mind, and discovered it wasn't a monster at all. He placed a hand on her shoulder. Every time you speak, your fear loses strength, and your courage grows. Her eyes lit up. So I can get better? Not can, he said firmly. You will. She felt tears welling up. For the first time in years. She felt possibility. Not someday. Not maybe. But now. Here. Today. Medium White Star Chapter 12, The Task That Terrified Her the Most. Mr. Orion wasn't finished. Now, he said. You're going to speak to 5 strangers. Maya's jaw dropped. 5? I barely survived O&E. He chuckled. And you will survive 5 more. But why so many? Because repetition kills fear. The more you do something, the less scary it becomes. She shook her head. This is too much. No, he replied softly. This is enough. She stared at him helplessly. He stepped closer. Listen, Maya. Your voice has been silent for years. It deserves to live. You deserve to live. Not quietly. Not hidden. Not ashamed. He pointed at her throat. You were born with a voice. For a reason. Tears rolled down her cheeks. I'm scared, she whispered. I know, he said gently. And that's why you must do this. She took a deep breath. Okay, she said. I'll do it. Good, he smiled. And I'll walk with you. Chapter 13, 5 Strangers, 5 Battles. Maya wiped her palms on her jeans as she stood beside Mr. Orion. 5 strangers, he repeated with a warm smile. Not because you need to impress them, but because your fear needs to lose. She nodded, breath shaky. Okay, who's first? He pointed toward a middle-aged man walking slowly, headphones in. Ask him where the library is. But the library isn't even near here. He shrugged. It doesn't matter. You're not looking for directions. You're looking for courage. Maya swallowed hard and walked toward the man. Her heart raced. Her chest tightened. Her stomach churned. But she remembered. Breathe from the belly. She inhaled, let the breath settle low, and tapped the man's shoulder. Hi, I'm sorry, do you know where the nearest library is? He paused, lifted a headphone, and smiled. Oh. Yeah, actually, there's one a few blocks down. Go straight and take a left. Maya smiled weakly. Thank you so much. That's two, Mr. Orion said proudly as she returned. One more victory and fear will start sweating. Maya laughed nervously. One by one, she approached more strangers. A teenage girl asking for the nearest bus route. A mother asking where she bought her stroller. An elderly man asking if he knew the time. A jogger asking where the water fountain was. By the end of the fifth conversation, Maya's heart was racing. But with excitement, not fear. I did it, she said breathlessly. I actually did it. Mr. Orion clapped softly. Fear loses to repetition every single time, he said. You just proved that. Maya felt like her lungs were filled with sunlight. For the first time in her life, speaking didn't feel like a threat. It felt like freedom. But life always tests you. Right when you start to rise. And Maya's test was waiting for her the next day. Medium White Star Chapter 14, a call she didn't expect. That evening, Maya received a message from work. Team meeting tomorrow morning. Everyone must present their weekly progress. Her smile faded instantly. A presentation. Even if it was small. Her fear came flooding back. Her chest tightened. Her old voice, the scared one, whispered in her mind. You can't do this. You'll embarrass yourself. Everyone will judge you. For a moment, she believed it. Her progress with strangers felt like it belonged to someone else. But then she remembered Mr. Orion's voice. Fear is a muscle you trained. Courage is a muscle you can train too. She took a deep breath from the belly and whispered, I can do this. She didn't fully believe it yet, but she wanted to. And wanting to is the first step of every transformation. Medium White Star Chapter 15, the day everything went wrong. The next morning, Maya stood in the office meeting room, holding her notes. Her palms were sweaty. Her heart shook. Her throat tightened. Just speak, she whispered to herself. Just breathe and speak. Her manager, Daniel, looked around. Okay team, let's start. Maya, you go first. She froze. Me? First. He nodded. You've done great work this week. Let's hear it. Her mind went blank. Completely empty. Words? What are words? She stepped forward. The room felt too bright. Too loud. Too quiet. 10 eyes stared at her. She opened her mouth. And her voice cracked. Then it vanished. She tried again. Nothing came out. Someone cleared their throat. Someone else shifted impatiently. Heat rushed to her face. Her hands shook violently. Her breathing collapsed. She dropped her papers. The room went silent. And Maya, the girl who'd been training so hard to escape her silence, felt that old shame swallow her whole. I'm sorry, she whispered, and rushed out of the room. Again. Just like in school. Just like the day her voice broke. Everything came crashing down. Her progress. Her confidence. Her hope. Gone. Medium White Star Chapter 16, the breakdown. She sat in the bathroom stall. Hands gripping her hair. Tears falling fast. What is wrong with me? She choked. Why can't I just talk like everyone else? She felt foolish. Childish. Weak. All that training. And I still failed. She felt the fear crawl back onto her shoulders. Like a heavy chain. You see, the fear whispered. You're not meant to speak. You'll always choke when it matters. You're broken. A sob escaped her mouth. I can't do this, she whispered. I'll never be able to speak. Almost as if her heart was collapsing in on itself. She sank to her knees. She felt defeated. Completely defeated. Medium White Star Chapter 17, the man who appeared at the right time. That evening, Maya went back to the park. She didn't plan to. Something inside her just led her there. Mr. Orion was waiting. He looked at her face. And instantly knew. You had a setback, he said gently. Maya collapsed onto the bench. I failed, she whispered. I failed like I always do. He nodded slowly. Tell me what happened. She told him everything. The meeting. The fear. The silence. The shame. The breakdown. When she finished, she looked down. I thought I was getting better, she said. But today, I realized I'm still the same scared girl. Mr. Orion stayed quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke. Maya, listen carefully. He lifted her chin, so she would look into his eyes. No one becomes fearless without falling. Her brows furrowed. What? Maya, growth is not a straight line. Healing is not smooth. Confidence is not built on perfect days. He paused. It is built on bad days. Messy days. Embarrassing days. Days when you break down. And get back up anyway. Her breath shook. But I froze, again. Of course you did, he said softly. You've been afraid for years. You can't undo a lifetime of fear. In a week. He leaned back. Do you know what happened today? What? You were tested. And you did not pass. But that doesn't mean you failed. She frowned. I don't understand. Mr. Orion smiled kindly. When a baby tries to walk, it falls. Again and again and again. He tapped her chest. But every fall is part of the walking. She stared at him. Maya, he said. Your breakdown today was not a failure. He leaned forward. It was training. The words hit her like lightning. Training. Not failure. Training. For the first time since the meeting, she breathed deeply. Medium White Star Chapter 18. The Truth About Mr. Orion. Maya wiped her tears. Mr. Orion. How do you know all this? How do you understand fear so well? He stared off into the distance. For a long moment. Then he said quietly. Because fear once stole my voice too. Maya's eyes widened. Your voice? But, you're so confident. He smiled sadly. I wasn't always. Most of my life, I couldn't speak. I stuttered so badly that even ordering food felt impossible. Maya's heart dropped. People laughed. Teachers got impatient. I failed my first teaching interview because I couldn't say my name without shaking. Her breath caught. I lived in silence for years, he continued, until one day, a stranger helped me, the same way I am helping you. Maya stared at him. You're helping me? Because someone once helped you. He nodded. Yes. This is how courage passes from one person to another. He touched her hand gently. And one day, you will help someone else. Her eyes filled with tears again. But this time, they were not tears of fear. They were tears of possibility. Medium White Star Chapter 19. The Root of Her Fear. Maya, Mr. Orion said softly. What happened today? The shaking, the freezing, the panic. It wasn't about the meeting. She looked confused. What do you mean? It was your past. Your childhood. That classroom moment. The laughter. The humiliation. He touched his heart. You never healed from it. So today, when you stood in front of your co-workers, your body wasn't reacting to the meeting. He looked deeply into her eyes. It was reacting to a memory. Maya felt something inside her crack open. He was right. Her fear wasn't about adults, or co-workers, or presentations. It was about a damaged, terrified, 16-year-old girl, who was still inside her. A girl who had never been allowed to speak again. After one moment of humiliation, tears streamed down Maya's face. So how do I heal it? She whispered. Mr. Orion took her hand. You don't run from the memory. You walk toward it. He squeezed her hand gently. And this time, you don't walk alone. Maya's breath trembled. But she nodded. Okay, she whispered. I'm ready. Good, he said softly. Because tomorrow, your real training begins. Chapter 20. The real training begins. The next morning, Maya returned to the park. She felt different. Still scared. But also stronger. Determined. Mr. Orion was waiting, hands behind his back, smiling gently. Are you ready? He asked. Maya nodded. Then today, he said, we're going to face the root of your fear. Her stomach tightened. My root. The fear that started everything. The day your voice broke. Maya froze. That day. I don't want to remember it. Exactly why we need to, he said. He placed his hand on his chest. You cannot heal what you avoid. You cannot fix what you refuse to face. And you cannot reclaim your voice until you confront the moment that stole it. Maya's breath shook. Will it hurt? Yes, he said honestly. But so does healing. She swallowed hard. Okay, she whispered. I'm ready. Medium White Star Chapter 21, Return to the Classroom. Mr. Orion began walking toward the other end of the park. Where are we going? Maya asked. You'll see. After a 10-minute walk, they reached a small building with large windows. Maya read the sign. Community Education Center. Mr. Orion held the door open. Inside was a simple classroom. Desks, whiteboard, a podium at the front. Maya's breath caught in her throat. This looks like my old classroom, she whispered. It's close enough, he said. Her knees weakened. Her chest tightened. Memories flooded her mind. Her shaking hands. Her broken voice. The laughter. The humiliation. She gripped the doorframe. I can't do this. Mr. Orion gently held her arm. Yes. Yes, you can. This time, you are not 16. You are not helpless. You are not alone. Maya's eyes filled with tears. He looked at her gently. Maya, walk inside. She took a trembling step. Then another. Then another. She stood in the front of the empty classroom. Mr. Orion walked to the back and sat in a desk. Begin, he said softly. Begin what? She whispered. Your speech. Her knees shook. The speech I failed? Yes. Her heart pounded. I can't remember it. That's okay, he said. Say anything. But face the moment. Her hands trembled. She looked at the empty room. It felt like ghosts from her past were watching. She inhaled. Belly breath, just like he taught her. My name is Maya, she whispered. Her voice cracked. But she didn't run this time. She inhaled again. My name is Maya, she repeated. Stronger. Clearer. She looked at the back of the room. Mr. Orion wasn't judging. He was smiling. She lifted her chin. When I was 16, I stood in front of a room just like this. My voice broke. And I thought that meant I was broken too. Her breath wavered. But today, I'm taking my voice back. She felt something warm spread through her chest. Confidence. Courage. Truth. She spoke louder. I am not scared of my voice anymore. Tears streamed down her cheeks. But her voice wasn't shaking. Not anymore. Mr. Orion stood and walked to the front of the room. He placed his hands on her shoulders. That, he said, was the speech that healed the wound. She cried into his arms. Not from pain, but from release. Years of silence. Finally breaking. Medium White Star Chapter 22, the fourth lesson, Speak to be heard. After a few minutes, Maya wiped her face. What now? She asked. Mr. Orion stepped back and pointed to the podium. Now, he said. You speak like someone who deserves to be heard. Maya nodded shakily. What do I talk about? Your truth. She took a long breath. Her hands steadied. Her heartbeat softened. She placed her hands on the podium. And spoke. Fear stole years of my life. Fear made me small. Fear convinced me that my voice was a problem. She looked up. But Mr. Orion taught me that fear isn't a wall. It's a door. And every time I speak, I push that door open. She felt energy rising inside her. Today, I'm pushing it open. Mr. Orion's eyes glistened. He nodded proudly. That, he said, is your voice. Medium White Star Chapter 23, A Surprise Visitor. As they left the center, a woman approached them. Excuse me, she said. I couldn't help overhearing. Are you two practicing public speaking? Maya blushed. Something like that. The woman smiled warmly. We're having a community storytelling event next week. Beginners welcome. Short stories, personal stories, anything. If you'd like to join, I'd love to have you. Maya's stomach twisted. A storytelling event? In front of strangers? Her old fear flared instantly. But then, she remembered today. She remembered standing in the classroom. Speaking her truth. Not breaking. Not running. And before she could stop herself, she said, Can I think about it? Of course, the woman smiled. Here's the flyer. As she walked away, Maya stared at the paper. Maya, Mr. Orion whispered. This is your opportunity. She shook her head. This is terrifying. And that, he said warmly, is exactly why you must do it. Medium White Star Chapter 24, Doubt Returns. That evening, Maya sat alone in her apartment, staring at the flyer. Community Story Night. Tell your story. Be heard. Her heart raced. What if I freeze again? She whispered. What if I fail in front of everyone? The fear crept in like a shadow. They will judge you. You'll embarrass yourself. You're not ready. She curled her knees to her chest. What if Mr. Orion is wrong about me? But then, a softer voice whispered. What if he's right? She closed her eyes. She pictured herself standing on the stage. Not small. Not silent. Speaking. Telling her story. Owning her voice. Becoming someone she never believed she could be. A tear rolled down her cheek. I want to do it, she whispered. I'm just scared. But then, she remembered his words. Courage isn't the absence of fear. Courage is speaking anyway. She took a deep breath. From the belly. Okay, she whispered. I'll do it. Medium White Star Chapter 25, the night before the event. Maya met Mr. Orion again the next day. I decided, she said. I'm going to speak at the event. Mr. Orion's smile lit up the afternoon. I knew you would. They trained all week. Breathing drills. Posture work. Voice projection. Confidence phrasing. Storytelling rhythm. And remember, he said the night before the event. Fear will show up tomorrow. Maya frowned. Why would fear show up? Because fear always visits. When you're about to do something important. He touched her shoulder gently. Don't fight the fear. Walk with it. Her chest softened. She nodded slowly. Okay. She left the park feeling nervous. But ready. Medium White Star Chapter 26, The Butterfly Moment. The next evening, the community center was buzzing. People laughing. Talking. Finding seats. Maya stood backstage. Hands trembling. Mr. Orion appeared beside her like a guardian. Are you ready? He asked softly. No, she whispered. But I'm going to do it anyway. He smiled. That's courage. She took a long breath. Her name was called. Next up. Maya Reyes. Her legs turned to jelly. She stepped onto the small stage. The lights were warm. Faces were blurry. Her heart pounded. Microphone in front of her. Silence waiting. Every fear she ever had stood beside her. But then, she remembered. I am not the girl who ran out of the classroom. She breathed. From the belly. She lifted her chin. And she began. Medium White Star Chapter 27, The Birth of Her Voice. My name is Maya Reyes. And for most of my life, I was afraid to speak. The room grew quiet. I wasn't afraid of people. I was afraid of myself. Afraid of my voice. Afraid of being seen. Her hands shook. But her voice grew stronger. When I was 16, I failed a presentation. My voice broke. And I thought that meant I was broken too. She inhaled. But a stranger taught me something. He taught me that fear is not a wall. Fear is a muscle. And courage is stronger. People leaned in. Tonight, I am speaking. Because I refuse to let fear own my life. Her voice vibrated with truth. I'm not here because I'm fearless. I'm here because I'm tired of being silent. A woman in the front row wiped a tear. And if you are afraid of speaking too, if your voice shakes, if your hands tremble, if your past still controls you. Her voice softened. Please know this. Your voice deserves to live. The room erupted in applause. Maya gasped. Tears fell down her cheeks. But not from fear. From victory. From rebirth. Mr. Orion watched proudly from the back. She had done it. She didn't run. She didn't break. She didn't hide. She spoke. Chapter 28, The Aftermath of Courage. The crowd's applause still echoed in her ears long after the event. People shook her hand. Hugged her. Congratulated her. You inspired me. I needed that. You're so brave. Brave. She'd never been called that before. When Maya stepped outside into the cool night air, Mr. Orion stood waiting under a street lamp. You did it, he said quietly. She wiped her eyes. I can't believe it. I can, he answered. They sat on a bench. The moon soft above them. Now, he said. You know your voice. Tomorrow, you'll begin learning how to use it. Maya tilted her head. What do you mean? He looked out toward the dark street. Your voice isn't just for you, Maya. It's for others too. One day, someone will need your voice. More than you needed mine. A strange shiver passed through her. What do you mean one day? She asked. But Mr. Orion simply smiled softly. You'll understand when the moment comes. She didn't know it then. But that moment would come. Sooner than she ever imagined. Medium White Star Chapter 29, A Week of Calm Before the Storm. For an entire week after the event, Maya felt lighter. As if a weight had lifted off her soul. She spoke more at work. She volunteered answers in meetings. She even laughed louder. Daniel, her manager, noticed instantly. Maya, you seem different, he said during a team lunch. She smiled. I'm working on myself. Well, he said. Keep doing that. Because your ideas during the meeting today were incredible. Her cheeks warmed. For once, she didn't shrink. Each day, she grew stronger. Clearer. Bolder. She practiced speaking to strangers. She trained her breath. She read paragraphs out loud every night. She even joined an online speaking group. But all this progress, all this growth, was preparing her for something she never expected. Because courage means nothing. Until life forces you to use it. In a moment that truly matters. Medium White Star Chapter 30, The Day Everything Changed. It was a Thursday evening. Cold. Quiet. Windy. Maya was walking home from work. Her bag slung over her shoulder. Her breath visible in the cool air. As she crossed the street, she heard something. A crash. A shout. Metal scraping. She turned sharply. Just a few feet ahead. A small car had slammed into a tree. Smoke billowed. The front end was crushed. People stopped on the sidewalk. Hands over their mouths. But no one moved. No one helped. Fear froze everyone. Maya felt her heart pound. Her legs trembled. But then she remembered. Your voice isn't just for you. One day, someone will need your voice. Her breath hitched. Mr. Orion, she whispered. She dropped her bag. And ran toward the car. Inside, a young man was trapped. Blood on his forehead. Eyes half open. Sir? Can you hear me? She asked. He groaned weakly. The smoke thickened. People around her panicked. Call an ambulance. Don't touch him. It might explode. No, help him. Voices everywhere. Chaos. Fear. Maya's heart pounded. Her throat tightened. But then, she felt something deep inside her awaken. The voice she had trained. The breath she had practiced. The courage she had built. This moment. This was what she had been preparing for. Not a classroom. Not a meeting. Not a storytelling event. A life. Someone's life. She took a deep breath. A belly breath. And she spoke. Medium White Star Chapter 31. Her voice became a command. Everyone stepped back. Her voice thundered. Strong. Clear. Unshaking. People froze. You, call emergency services immediately. She pointed at a woman holding a phone. Give them our exact location. Tell them it's a crash with a trapped passenger. The woman nodded in shock, then began dialing. You, stop recording and get the fire extinguisher from the cafe behind us. The man blinked. Now, she commanded. He ran. You and you, help me open the door. We need to get him out before the smoke grows. Two men rushed forward. Maya pulled the handle. The door jammed. She gritted her teeth. Again, she commanded. They yanked. It opened. The injured man coughed, choking on smoke. It's okay, Maya said firmly. Her voice steady as steel. You're safe. We've got you. She guided him gently. Supporting his neck carefully. He whimpered in pain. I know, she whispered. Voice softening. Stay with me. Stay awake. Help is on the way. The man laid on the grass. Someone brought a blanket. Someone else brought water. Maya knelt beside him. Speaking calmly, steadily. Using every breath technique. Mr. Orion had taught her. Look at me, she said. You're not alone. Keep breathing. Just breathe with me. When the ambulance arrived, The paramedics asked. Who stayed with him? Maya raised her hand slowly. The paramedic nodded with admiration. You might have saved his life. Her breath caught. Tears filled her eyes. I just used my voice, she whispered. That's all it takes sometimes, the paramedic replied. Medium White Star Chapter 32, The Message She Didn't Expect. Later that night, Maya returned to the park. Her hands trembled. Her heart still raced. She needed to tell him. She needed to tell Mr. Orion. That her voice, the voice he taught her to find, had saved someone. But when she reached the bench, he wasn't there. For the first time since she'd met him, Mr. Orion wasn't waiting. She checked the other benches. The fountain. The pathways. Nothing. She sat down. A strange unease tightening in her chest. Where was he? As she stood to leave, she noticed something tucked under the bench. A small envelope. With her name on it. Her heart pounded. She picked it up. And opened it with trembling fingers. Inside was a letter. She read it. *** Maya. If you are reading this, it means your moment has come. I knew it would. Your voice was always meant to save someone. Tonight, I'm sure it did. Do not worry about me. My job is done. Your wings are strong now. You don't need me to fly. Remember this. Your voice is a gift. Use it. Share it. Give it to those who have lost theirs. I am proud of you. More than you will ever know. Orion. ***. The world blurred as tears filled her eyes. He knew, she whispered. He knew. She held the letter to her heart. And cried softly. Not from sadness. From gratitude. From love. From transformation. Mr. Orion hadn't disappeared. He had simply stepped back. The moment she no longer needed him. Her voice was hers now. Fully. Completely. Medium White Star Chapter 33, Her New Purpose. Weeks passed. The man from the crash recovered fully. His family sent Maya messages thanking her. Maya's story spread through her workplace. Her confidence grew. Her voice grew. She was promoted. Then asked to speak at team meetings. Then at orientation for new employees. The quiet, invisible girl became someone others looked up to. Not because she was perfect, but because she was brave. One evening, months later, Maya walked through the same park and saw a young boy sitting alone, trembling, practicing a speech for school. He stuttered, stopped, held his head in frustration. Maya walked over gently. Hi, she smiled. You look like someone with a story stuck in your throat. The boy looked up, startled. How did you know? She sat beside him. Because once, I was you. He stared at her. She inhaled. Belly breath. Just like she had been taught. Do you want me to help you? The boy nodded, eyes hopeful. Okay, she said warmly. Let's begin. And in that moment, with a trembling boy beside her, and the moon above them, Maya finally understood what Mr. Orion meant. Courage travels from one voice to another. Medium White Star Chapter 34, Final Message to your audience. And now, dear listener, this is where you enter the story. Because Maya isn't just a character. She's every person who has ever swallowed their words, who has ever trembled at the sound of their own voice, who has ever lived in silence. And you, yes, you are now standing where Maya once stood, with a choice. Stay quiet, stay hidden, stay afraid, or speak. Speak even if your voice shakes. Speak even if fear sits beside you. Speak even if the past still echoes inside you. Because your voice can save a life, can change your world, can rewrite your story. Maybe your voice won't save someone else today, but it will save you. So take a breath, a deep one, from the belly, and say these words out loud. This is my voice. It is mine, and I will use it. If you said it, even in a whisper, your journey has begun, just like Maya. And one day, you will help someone else find their voice too.